podcast is a member of WildGamesProductions.com and D20Radio.com.
You remember.
Roll your stealth roll?
Game books, pencils, pizza, cheese puffs, and a hell of a lot of dice.
And the Dragon Ball Cup.
Roll for Initiative. This is the Roll for Initiative podcast, where 1E is the place to be.
The Roll for Initiative podcast, this is volume 5, issue 168. I'm Vince, sitting with Nick.
Howdy, everybody.
And Sal.
Hello. Hello.
So anyway, we're back with a new show this week, and we're going to just say, hope you've been enjoying all the shows on the network, and if you like all the shows on the network, hit us up on our patreon.com/WGP. Listen to the new show Sal and I have been doing called Grievances. And Grievances, yes. It's been a smashing hit so far. People have really been enjoying it. If you're interested in that, you can donate to the Patreon site, and you can listen to the show as well, because it's an exclusive for donators only. So, Anyway, so let's jump right into our topic this week. Sal, what are we doing this week?
We are doing the wonderful Labyrinth Lord compatible Monks of Kwantoon.
Which is basically an Oriental Adventures companion, pretty much.
It is. However, they give you bang for your buck. This is completely worth it. Yeah. I did not do my research because I've had this for a while.
Yeah.
So I did not get it from. I didn't go to look on what I paid for it a while back, but it wasn't expensive, I know, and they give you so much in this. There's right off the bat, you got your solo campaign, and they explain it right out to you about sometimes you just can't get a DM, sometimes you can't get your group, but you're still in the mood. So it turns into a choose your own adventure dungeon, pagoda. That's what they've changed dungeons into pagodas. And it's a dungeon generator, and it gives you the basics of what you need. Everybody's a monk.
$5.
Yep, it's $5. Yeah, like I said, it's totally worth it completely. Mm-hmm. Just because also I'm a fan of the Labyrinth Lord system, so anything coming out, well, I tend to pick it up.
I'd like to just say before you move forward, it is Labyrinth Lord, but it is AEC, so Advanced Edition Companion, so we can cover this before the technical Nazis out there go, well, shouldn't Shaver Die be doing that?
And anybody, no sweat, folks. It's actually compatible with any old school kind of product. So
in fact, Save or Die actually gave this to us because they didn't want to step on our toes, thinking this is more for first edition. So
they are a good bunch of folks over there.
They're good fellers.
They're a couple of good eggs over there.
Yes.
Meh.
Wow. We're gonna sick Jim Wampler after that comment.
Jeez. First salvo has been shot.
Oh.
Continue, Sal.
Well, like I said, right off the bat, the solo campaign stuff, it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm not going to go into super detail because everybody here is smart enough to figure that out, what that means. If you haven't read a Choose Your Own Adventure book...
You're living under a rock.
I was going to tell you to go... Anyway, it doesn't matter. But they give you, not only that, they give you a source book of the districts.
Which is
Kwantoon.
Really detailed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very
extremely.
detailed.
And it's and if you don't, it's not like it's not a bunch of text where you're like, oh, I got to read through this to know the history of this. They give you a couple paragraphs of history for flavor, which it's so much fun too. But then the rest are tables. They give you tables and charts just to kind of throw it together. So you really, if you're kind of in a pinch and you just want some Asian flavor. And then you have your game, and then 30 minutes later you want a game again. No, nothing. Okay. Anyway,
hardy har.
Enter rim shot here.
I do like the stuff that they give you. I have personally, I took out. I'm not a fan of animal races per se in a serious campaign. That's my personal opinion. So, nobody say, oh, well, it's not the whole part of it. It's, to me, I don't need them. I don't use those guys. Those are NPC stuff. the kitsunes. Let me see. I want to make sure the races. The kitsunes, the bungaya, which are basically little fiery, half-naked guys. The kappas, which I don't know. Funny part number 2. I just watched Kappa the movie it's basically a giant beaked turtle.
Oh, I never even.
Oh yeah, it's if you're a fan of kaiju and stuff like that.
So he's kind of like Gamera, but with
except
water on his
funnier.
head.
Because it's like a little bald turtle, goblinoid thing, but this thing is like 50 feet tall in the movie. But in the game,
is really neat, and Gamera is
he is filled with turtle meat. He is.
That's right.
We all love
you,
Gamera. Sorry. MST3K
Yeah, so
moment.
the kappas are the small little turtle guys. The kitsunes are the shape-changing foxes. The tanukis are the raccoon dogs. Okay, now you can play these as races. Mm-hmm. And the tengu, who are the crowmen. Everybody knows them. I love using the crowmen as NPCs.
Did he say Chromax? Oh, sorry.
That was a good band, though, back in the day.
I thought you were talking about Sliders for a minute.
I will never talk about Sliders. So the
Sorry, Thou.
I don't have any heat with what's his name with Jordy, whatever his name is, Vern from Stand By Me, but not a good show. Anyway, so yeah, they give you those. They give you the 9 benevolent gods. They give you everything you need to run the game.
Yeah,
just background wise, and you could put it together in literally 10 minutes. And
it's very very flexible. All the different monk classes that you can make up. Mm-hmm. They even in the character classes section, they even say you could take your Western style adventurers and kind of give them an Oriental flair by adding some of these little abilities and stuff to them. So you kind of port them over if you want to. But I like it because I'm not really much into the Oriental adventure stuff, campaign stuff myself. But this kind of, I know, weird, huh? But
you would think, as a historian that you are, you'd love this.
I don't know. It just never really grabbed me at first. But looking at this, I thought this was kind of interesting because, just they have it is kind of like a mini campaign setting because you have the I guess the village of Kwantoon. Mm-hmm. So you have like a city campaign area, and then you have the 1,000 pagodas,
right? Which are dungeons.
So you have your dungeon. So it's a combination urban adventure and dungeon all in one nice little package here. So that's what kind of drew me into it.
See, I would never run a full-out Oriental Adventures campaign because, to me, honestly, again, I'm kind of with Nick on this to a point. I wouldn't want the whole world to be that. To me, that would get kind of boring,
right?
Fast. So what I like doing is bringing my, Forgotten Realms guys. If we're going to start in Forgotten Realms, your Forgotten Realms guys, bring them over to an Asian island or bring them over to a place where there's this, Asian feel. Mm-hmm. It's just a different culture of the world, and to me, that's what makes the game better. That's what makes things a little interesting. And in this particular setting, they have the petty magic items, which are crickets, which I think are so cool, like little crickets. Yeah. And they have what's the masks, magic masks, and magic puppets. They even have magic fortune cookies.
Yes.
Well, yeah. Well, the crickets thing goes into some of the lore of the culture is that they were seen as lucky. I don't know. I guess call them Lucky Charms. Okay. Insert funny serial reference here.
Well, they actually was a town of Lucky Charms in the book.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So automatically just right there. To me that is just fodder for jokes.
Yeah.
So either you take stuff like that out. Just that's like I took all the animals out of my campaign because you know what? I don't want a raccoon hybrid man in my game. And if he shows up as an NPC, he'll be a memorable NPC, and everybody will be like, "Oh, remember the guy with the raccoon? Great, aha!" But to have a player do it, I would kill them. I would.
That. And also, I'm reading through some of those things. They seem kind of powerful.
Yeah.
Well. I don't know if you guys remember when Oriental Adventures came out. If you ran an Oriental character in your regular setting, it seemed very overpowered.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it did.
Oh, yeah.
And even in this game, they tell you to make your survivability a little easier, up your monks to D6 instead of D4. Mm-hmm. So, like, to me, this is its own setting, but you can easily tailor it to put it anywhere in your campaign.
Right.
It doesn't have to take over your campaign, but it could be a great place for them to be for shops. Like, to me, this is what this is. This is the den of iniquity. This is, you can buy anything here, anything illegal, anything horrible, and there's, the mad emperor running the whole gig, but that's how I'm using it. And if they tell you in the beginning of the book, steal what you want, and they put it in, they change the color, so you see that's like the first thing you see when you open the book. It's like, steal what you want.
Exactly.
And that's what's going to make the game so much better for you. If not everybody likes, I don't like Asian stuff. I don't like, I don't want a ninja in my thing. I don't want this. I don't want that. So you take what you want, take what your players will respond to. The character classes, they come up with variant classes, which, again, I like a lot. They have the shapeshifters, swordmasters, Ronin monks, ninjas, and kabuki.
Yeah. Well, disciples of the North Wind. And...
Well, see, now those are all monks. Those are all the... Yeah. Each monk is tied to one of those 9 benevolent gods.
Right.
So each monastic order changes for the individual. And that makes it cool. That can give you a whole... if one of your PCs want to do that, and they say, okay, I want to... I started out as a warrior, and they're just playing a plain warrior, which, great. And then they say, I want to follow the path of the god of the cat god. Okay, great, terrific. And I want to learn the willow leaf style and use iron claw. Okay, great, terrific. And now this has given your character purpose, and possibly even if you introduce this outside of this realm, this could be the reason for your PCs to come here.
Right.
They can only find this temple in this district, and that's, however miles away. So make that the campaign. You can make that the game getting to this place before you even start the game.
When I saw this book, I have to say, I really think the authors were Legend of the Five Rings fans.
Yeah.
You think?
This book reminds me of the box set that came out around 2nd, 3rd edition called City of Lies. I don't know if you remember the box set, Sal, if you've even played it.
I have never played Legend of Five Rings.
Oh, really?
Yeah, nobody has ever wanted, ever, in any of my groups, ever wanted to play that.
Unfortunately, a lot of people don't like the whole, political Japanese type thing. So
yeah, feudal
Japan, feuding with clans and doing all the politics. It's kind of like that whole vampire thing, all that, that stuff. It's not D&D. I can't steal their stuff and run away.
And what they give you, and this is another part, the artwork. I have to caveat this.
Okay.
If you're not a fan of, and I'm putting the air quotes up, traditional Japanese style art, okay, then you're going to be like, oh, this stinks. I don't like their monster manual. The Watung Match Company monster manual.
That was my favorite part of the whole thing.
Right.
I love that.
That's the thing, though. But if you're not into that, because everybody kind of has the big dopey Goku head, and it's the Japanese art style, and it's a lot of fun for flavor, and it's cool if you want to you want to put that. Like for me personally, printed out the little things, and then I put those out for the players to find. Of people have done drawings of what they've seen.
Right.
They don't look anything like what I've made, but that's what they drew.
Well, it kind of goes with the whole idea, even with the old medieval grimoires, they drew what they thought they saw, but it was
wood
like...
cuttings, and they did the wood cuttings.
Right, and it was very exaggerated, the same sort of premise.
So it's very cool that way. One of my favorite monsters from the book is the Blood Golem.
Oh, yeah.
And I've changed that out just for my game. And instead of blood, it's malevolence, and it's evil. It's just a physical manifestation of this black slime. So that's this golem. But now, that's the best part of this is everything is made to be changed in this book if you want to.
I was kind of digging the Tanwo. The dude with like the hands coming out of their eyes.
Oh yeah, those are freaky.
Number 41.
Let's see. I got it in front of me. And the Blade Devil. I'm a big fan of him too.
Because I don't know, I found that interesting how it has like no real eyesight except for the one eye above. Well, in the third, no, actually it has no eyes. So it's like, how the hell does it see? Unless those eyes are on its hands, I can't really tell.
Be like Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah.
You know what kind of intrigued me about this is, we're talking about that Kwantoon monsters, the matchbooks, and I think I remember seeing those years and years and years ago. Like when you go to, Chinese restaurants, what have you, they have the matchbooks there. But what really intrigued me about the monsters and also the setting was, I've always kicked around an idea in my head of doing a Crossroads kind of campaign setting, where the city or the town or wherever it may be is a huge trade center between what you might want to call East and West. So it has a mixture of all these little things from both kind of settings, just a little bit of each, And this, I think this is a really good way. If some people, I didn't talk to other people about this, and they've like, yeah, I've always wanted to do something kind of like that, have the massive trade center between the two areas, between the two lands, and it just can make a huge, interesting campaign, because you're going to have some. When you're talking about the monsters or in the encounters, it can make some really weird stuff because you're not doing the run of the mill stuff like with kobolds and ogres. And it's like the very first one, the Baisha. Mm-hmm. They're good aligned individuals, and they have powers of cure disease, remove curse, cure serious wounds. And when offered gems and pieces of silk, they might brew a precious ointment. So that's something kind of unique. They have some other amazing abilities. They can utter a powerful curse 3 times a day, like a 27th level cleric, causing healing spells to have no more effect upon the recipient. I'm like, damn.
Yeah. My thing,
and they can gate in D4 unicorns.
See, now again, like for me personally, I would take out half of that because they didn't need it. Mm-hmm. What I did, I low magic my games sometimes, just because sometimes the fantastical gets the game off track. You lose a little bit. And I know I'm going to get yelled at for it, but you lose some of the seriousness that you're trying to get, if depending on if you're trying to get that mood. Sometimes you want a light, silly mood, or you want to make it like the D&D cartoon and the wizard bumbles and, oops, I came up with a giant fly out of my hat, that sort of thing. That's, if you want to do that, that's cool, and there's nothing against that.
I don't like it. Okay,
a lot of people don't. And my thing, like in this game, I actually took the snake folk. The snake folk are my quote unquote my goblins.
Okay.
Those are the guys who run around, and those are the guys who, are the main villain. They're the minions. Some of them disguise themselves. Some of them, they're the ones you're going to find. I used the crowmen, the Tengu. The Tengu are all part of the Mistress of Death. They kind of serve her on a lower level. And now that gets ported over into this land, where it's a different god setting. They don't believe in the stuff that the people believe to the west.
Right.
So now you have the Raven Queen guys coming in, meeting these crow guys, and now you're like, whoa, hey, wait a minute, you guys are right. I'm cool with you, and they're like, no, we have nothing to do with you. That sort of thing. So it leads to, there's a lot of avenues you could lead your game in, and this supplement just kind of opens up a lot of roads. Right.
Like I was just reading the description of one of the monsters, the Chambat, which is a mixture of bat and human, and they're blind. They rely on sonar sense. They can only be surprised on a 1 and a d6. These guys are they're like 2-hit dice, kind of. I guess they would fit in somewhere in the realm of like bugbears or something like that, as far as hit dice and stuff like that. They use broadswords, maces, scale mail armor. They can fly. They also can, when they strike you, I guess open hand damage, they can drain 1 point of strength for 2 hours from you.
Well, that's yeah. The blood golems do that too. They 1d, I think it's 1d6 or 1d8.
Yeah. I just like having, like, they're going into this weird, they're going into this, like, my little crossroads setting, and they're maybe going through a valley, and there's these weird flying bat things that are coming down, and one of the player characters gets hit, and I said, and suddenly you feel just a little bit weaker. Well, I know I took some no, not just damage. You actually feel physically weaker. And he's like, what? Yeah, you lost a point of strength.
and you watch how your players will lose their minds.
They're going to be
because
like,
now they don't know if it's permanent. They don't know. Yeah. It's not in the average book, and they will have no idea on whether or not they're going to get it back. They don't know if it's a permanent loss. They don't know if it's going to keep going. Like, it's something that you can change up your game. There's a couple other supplements too. The Purple Lands, I think it's called Yoon Sween, and then the Red Mists. Excuse me, the Red Mist campaign book. All of them, they're both Asian flavored adventures for old school stuff. And to me, like, those games, they get very in depth, and they try to change out those things of, okay, goblins aren't called goblins, they're called this, but they're goblins. They get very in depth with their own lore. This supplement doesn't do that. This supplement just gives you a base and gives you the stuff you need to fill in that skeleton. But it tells you put in what you want.
It's a sandbox.
Yeah, and it's actually, it accomplishes it very, very well in such a small amount of space.
Over 200 pages is not really that small, but still.
Well, considering, I'm holding up a book to show you, Vince.
Oh, okay, cool. Thanks, Sal.
I'll catch on. Yeah, the Yellow Lands book is just a thick, giant book, and for considering a source book, and you're getting a solo generator to run by yourself, and you're getting the monster manual. And you're getting the the Lucky Charm supplement, and it's all just it's very well done. I'm a big fan of this, and I can't recommend it enough. If this is how you want to go with your campaign, if you're not, if you aren't a fan of the Oriental thing, then you're going to be like, oh, this stinks. In which case, go scratch.
Well,
another for you.
Even if you aren't a fan of the Oriental thing, this is perfect just to mine. It's just brand new stuff.
Yeah.
That you probably haven't seen. It's good to throw in your players who have probably been players for 10, 15, 20 years, 40 years, however long, or maybe even brand new. It's something to throw in your game. They'll be like, well, you find this cookie. It looks like a cookie. Well, what is it? Oh, what does it do? I don't know. Looks like you can kind of crack it open. Well, you know in real life it's a fortune cookie, but your character has never seen it.
Yeah, you've never seen that.
Yeah.
To me, it's like all of these things, just for example, and this is such a minor, like super minor thing, to call them petty items instead of, minor magic or, whatever. You call them petty items. Now, all of a sudden, if you were to turn around and kind of bring that, I guess, mechanic into your game where you have minor items that really don't affect anything.
Mundane item type thing.
Yeah, it's a mundane item, but it still does something, like you have a fortune cookie that if you eat it, you're full for the day. But you're going to eat it. You know what I mean? So, like, it's not going to be one of those things that your player keeps around and overpowers the game and ruins things. So, like, little stuff like that is, I think it's very well done. I think they were very thorough, and they got it done without boring the player. Because I personally get bored quick, especially if I'm reading and I have to read a history book on the history campaign of how these 7 emperors came in and took they don't do that to you here. They give you a little rundown of what's going on, and then they give you in-depth later on, and then they give you tables, and then they give you everything you need, and they do it quickly. And that's, I can't say how much I enjoy that and how much this made it really, really good to do.
Sal, it's almost like you're squeeing over there.
I am a little bit because I'm a fan of this, and it's like I'm saying about 97% of this is going into my campaign.
What's the 3% that you don't like?
The animal people.
Okay, that's true.
You know, I'm taking that out
for player characters.
Yeah, for player characters, they're still being NPCs. I'm taking that out. Mm-hmm. Some of the god stuff. I'm not making everybody monks. Yeah, it happens. Yeah, I know. You know what? I'm a maverick like that. That's what I do.
It's a maverick.
What a rebel.
Yeah, rebel without a clue, man. And I'm probably the variant classes. They're cool. I might offer someone
a ninja.
Well, no, actually a kabuki.
When I read about that, the kabuki, I'm like, all I can picture in my head is the movie Kabuki Man NYPD.
Exactly, he's awesome.
But no, it's just like.
But now, Vince, this is you'll enjoy this. One of the things that I've brought into the game.
Yeah.
Now, if Matt was here. Oh, I miss Matt. See, if Matt was here, he would. The Great Muda. They all have that mist.
Yes.
Some of these temple monks, they do the mist trick. You know, and I got the idea. I'm like, obviously from the Great Muda and Kabuki, and who could blow fire, who could blow poison, who could, blow sleep poison, stuff like that. So that's just another level of flavor added to the game.
And you say everything I talk about goes back to wrestling in the Grievance podcast, Sal?
Listen.
You're the one that keeps doing it.
This is your fault. This is your fault.
Yes, that's true. I talked about it. I made you watch it. I came all the way from Texas to Pennsylvania, twisted your arm, turned on Monday Night Raw, and said, "Shao, you're going to watch this now."
I just wanted to relate to you more, Vince, so you'd love me.
Aww.
See?
Well, good.
Meanwhile, back to our regularly scheduled podcast.
Oh, yeah, Nick is still here.
Yeah,
hey, Nick, what's up, buddy?
Hey, oh, yeah.
So, all right, Nick.
Actually, one of the things I was going to bring up is, because my favorite part of this is the monster section. I keep on going back to it. And another thing I wanted to bring up about it was how there are some of the monsters here that they kind of make, that they took and they kind of made a link to their Western counterparts. For example, there is a greater 3-headed harpy, which is nasty.
Yeah.
This is a very nasty creature. And I love that. That's something you can even add into your regular campaign, but kind of gives it a weird, even a weirder, more mysterious flair to it, because you're going to add some sort of Oriental variant of the harpy in your regular campaign. There's also another one. This one would scare the bejesus out of my players, because they are literally scared to death of sturges. Are the man sturges? Combination of man and sturge. So, I mean, they're only 2 hit dice, but they got the draining blood for D6 points per round.
Your players don't know. They don't know how many hit points these guys got, because it's something new. Yeah,
they see something and it looks like a man. He's carrying a sword, but he's got a weird head with kind of a beak on it. And next thing you know, he, jabs you right in the chest and starts sucking blood out of you. Yeah. They're going, "What is this?" Man sturge. Ha! So I like that. I think there's the Oriental dwarves. I think they kind of made a. I don't think they said they're related to the Western dwarves at all, but I guess you could make them that way.
It doesn't matter a lick. If you want to do it, you can. If not, who cares?
Yeah, it's very.
They don't force you.
Modular.
They don't force you down the road.
Yeah, or here's another one I liked: the Pakua Kobold. Here's another one, It's basically the Chinese or Japanese version of your kobolds. You know, they're a little bit different. They have a more of a mysterious Oriental flair to them. So they're they said they're close cousins of Varts, and like them can speak Kobold, Goblin, in their own language, an Oriental version of Western Vart. So
I varted.
I varted. Is that like sharding?
It kind of, a little bit. Just like
Sharded.
little men come out of your backside.
Anyway,
Yeah,
but
creepy,
that was one of the things I liked in the whole monster thing. Is like it's like they took something familiar on some of them and put a twist onto it by using the matchbook pictures, and that
Right.
I thought was very original, and I love it. That's so cool.
And as for a little DM tip for people who use minis, and I know we actually don't really cover this a lot, but what I did, I turned around, I took HeroClix, and I took the Mandarin. I got a couple Mandarin figures, and I got a couple of Wang characters.
Yeah, he said Wang.
Doctor Strange's assistant, not the other one.
Whoa.
And I got a couple ninjas, and I basically just rebased them, and they fit. They make everything completely different when you break these characters out. And normally you have everybody, you know, just their armor and the swords, and then you have this guy in the green robe show up, and you're, oh, okay. And then you have this other guy standing there with the kung fu outfit on, and then you have the ninjas. It adds flavor to your table if you're using minis. And literally, I paid $2, $3 for 7 minis, 8 minis, just because they're cheap. They're HeroClix, and the characters stink, so nobody uses them. So, but they fit into this campaign perfectly.
Yeah.
So that's just a little. If you guys use minis, I know a lot of people don't.
I do. I like them.
They're theater of the mind people.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You're obviously not
I like-
creative.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Oh, I get
folks who
blasted
love
for all
these
my minis.
miniatures.
I post about minis and I get blasted because people are like, "Oh, I don't use minis. I don't use a DM screen either." Okay, fine.
Oh,
I'm
I hate
sorry.
those people.
Okay.
I hate those people. I roll out in the open. It's
Yeah,
like,
okay,
you know
it's
what?
great, dude. So
All
what do
right.
you want me to tell you? Oh, I don't use
Does
minis.
it
I
make
don't
you more
waste my money.
superior, you know?
Yeah.
Grab
Don't
your
waste my
DM.
money on minis,
Grab your
okay?
DM dice. Get behind the screen and be a man and be a real DM, and that's how it's supposed to be. Sorry, pal.
Yeah.
That's how. It
But
was
yeah,
meant to
so
be.
this I'm not sure though. What's the ratings around here? You guys do what? Dragon eggs or what? How you
Dragon eggs. In
it's swords.
Sal's honor, let's do dragon eggs this week.
Yeah, just for you.
Let's make this dragon eggs this week and see how far we
One
do
five
this.
dragon eggs. So awesome.
All right, so Nick, we'll start with you. How many dragon eggs?
How many dragon eggs?
Yes. 5
I
dragon
will
eggs.
give it
5 being
on
the
a
best.
on a range of 1 to 5.
Yes, 5 being the best.
I will
Awesome.
give it 4.
4 dragon eggs.
4 out of 5. Even though I'm not a huge fan of the Oriental Adventures type of stuff, I see a lot of stuff here that I can mine to bring an unusual flair. Because, you know, for me, you got some jaded players who, you know, they've seen it all, done it all. But if you introduce some of these things like the Tan Wu, which is a grossly distorted undead minion of primordial chaos, and they have little eye stalk, little arms growing out where their eyes should be, and that's where their hands are going, holding their eyes. These little nasty little buggers. Yeah, you know, you can add some of these things to a regular campaign if you want to, if this is what you would do, which I probably would. So, yeah, this is a great resource for me to mine for other ideas and kind of plop them into a current campaign. That's how I kind of looked at it. But, yeah, I mean, if you want to go full on, you know, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon sorting thing, yeah, go for it.
Or Cylon like Nick. Anyway.
Cylon?
Yeah, you turn Cylon on like us, so.
I just revealed my secret self. So.
All right, Sal,
we're
how
only
many dragon eggs for you?
Out of 5 dragon eggs, I would go 4.5 because I found everything useful in this.
So you killed a dragon. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Such a bad man.
Why am I a bad man?
Because you killed the dragon.
How did I kill the dragon?
It's a half an egg, so that means you bursted open one and killed the dragon.
Maybe it's just a small dragon. You don't know.
No.
Or maybe it wasn't done cooking, so you don't know. So yeah, the hell happened?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's the Grievances podcast all over again.
I will definitely. I'd say 4.5 eggs because this was really good. I like I said, there was barely anything that I want to change. The stuff that I did. I ported it out, but it's plug and play. The guys did this right. Whoever did this, I just had. I'm sorry. Yeah. Anyway. The
Sal credibility out the window.
well, yeah. You know what? Because I had it up on my screen, and now it's gone.
Yeah.
So anyway,
like Sal's wrestling career is gone.
Gone. Absolutely gone.
Gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, I'm going to rate this a 5 out of 5.
Ooh.
I absolutely love it. I absolutely adore it. I'm a big fan of Oriental Adventures, as you know, Nick, from the past.
Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of Legend of the Five Rings. I like what they did here. I like the at least to me, the nods to Legend of the Five Rings. I mean, if they didn't do it and they have no clue about Legend of the Five Rings, they're like, oh, it's a happy coincidence, then fine. Whatever. I'm still happy. I enjoy the artwork because they kept it flavored with the Oriental Adventures / Japanese type / Oriental. Oh, wait, isn't Oriental a bad word? Never mind.
No, Oriental is the people. No, Oriental is the rug and art. Asian is the people. That's how it worked.
Yeah, we'll get into that after the show. But anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed it. I like to read. I like the solo adventure. I actually played through it just to see how it worked out, and I had a lot of fun. I'm actually going to go through it again just to see just pick, how you go choose your own adventure like 700 times when you were a kid. When I have some more time, I may go through another time or two just to see what happens. So,
yeah. So just also, I want to correct myself. Kabuki Kaiser is the
Kabuki Kaiser.
Kabuki Kaiser. He's the credited author here. But this was just actually, I really can't tell you enough how much I like this. This was great.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely 5 Dragon Eggs in Sal World. And regular RFI rating, it'd be 5 swords.
Okay, it was 5 swords. Okay, see, that sounds a little bit better than the eggs, though.
5 katanas.
There, look at that. Right? Nick's on board. It is Patrice Kabuki Kaiser Crespi is the author.
Crespi, okay.
Yeah.
Patrice Crespi, okay.
Yep. And I just kudos to them, man, because they hit it out of the park with this. Big fan, and I would like to see a lot more of this.
Well, they have another supplement if you read the back
Adventure
of the book.
Island, right?
Adventure Island looks like one of those little kind of like survival type things when you just throw everybody on the island and you got to survive type things. Another sandbox.
Adventures, yeah.
Yeah, looks really good. I was actually thinking about picking it up if I could find it.
What does it say? A 5 stars wilderness sandbox campaign and D&D theme park for hopeless characters.
Yeah.
Hopeless. So you got that guy with, you rolled, he's got a 5 constitution, a 7 intelligence, and 8 strength. This is where you go.
This is where he goes.
All right.
See, I'm looking it up now on drive-through. Because that's, again, this. If this is any indication of what these guys do, I would probably pick up everything they put out because I'm a fan of how they handled it.
Oh, Sal just went into fanboy territory.
Listen,
I'm total fanboy for this.
I'm just telling it like it is, man. Because you know why? A lot of people will say, "Oh, I like this and this and that," but I'm telling you, this is absolutely well done. And if somebody put this much time and work into something,
oh wow,
I give them full blown credit. It's not easy, you write for people.
Sal,
you are a quality product.
You are marking out for them, man.
I'm doing my job as a reviewer. I'm trying to give them their just due.
Their just dessert?
I didn't want to use that cliche.
Oh, okay.
Their due diligence. How about that?
Their due diligence. Yeah, they did a fabulous job. I suggest heading over to RPG Now or Drive Through RPG, looking up this title, paying the $5 if you have a credit, or just throwing a $5. Worth it.
So worth it.
Pick up all their other supplements, and hopefully they get a hold of this podcast and listen to the review, and maybe send it out to other folks who are on the fence about it. You know, maybe some people are like, maybe I don't want to buy it. It's not that cool.
Yeah, maybe I look it up on torrent. Let me tell you something. If you go and steal this, instead of paying $5 for it, I will hunt you down and kill you and your family. What?
Wild Games Productions does not condone any actions by Sal.
Give him your $5. It's totally worth it. That's all I'm saying. It's $5 worth the life of your family.
Sal E. Graziano. Oh, wait, wrong name. Sorry.
No, he's in trouble. That's fine.
Oh,
get him in trouble.
We'll get him in trouble? Okay. Yeah. Let them try to find him, right?
He's a jackass anyway.
Yeah. Total FBI, right?
And
again,
derail.
what the hell happened?
I don't know.
What the hell happened?
So anyway, we're going to call it issue 168 for volume number 5, Peace, Love, and Gaming.
Arigato.
Laters.
This podcast is brought to you in part by a not very generous grant from Lesser Gnome, publisher of quality role-playing games since last year. Gnomes value high-minded programming just like you. Learn more at their website at www.lessergnome.com.
Are you enjoying the show you're listening to right now? Want to help support the show? Why not head over to the Patreon site, patreon.com/WGP. That's patreon.com/WGP. And help support the network for as little as $1.50 a month. That's right, $1.50 a month goes a long way. Thank you.
Podcast is a production of Wild Games Productions in association with D20Radio.com. You can visit us at RFIPodcast.com or contact us on our forums at OSRGaming.org or even by calling us at 570-865-4210. This podcast is produced for entertainment purposes only. All other uses are prohibited. And remember, if your magic missile spell doesn't automatically hit, you're playing the wrong edition. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Roll for Initiative.